Welcome, and it's another Learning HTML video. In this one, I'll show you how to add an image onto your web page, specifically an image that you find somewhere online. You can load up pictures of your own, but that's going to be a topic for a different video. This time we'll just focus on getting ones off of the World Wide Web. So what I want to do, I was looking at this page that I've created, and this is my first page now that I can code HTML. When do I get rich like this guy, which is a link to the page about Mark Zuckerberg, but it'd be nice if I could have a picture of him right here to go on the web page. And I can do that. It's not too hard to do, just like everything else in HTML. You just have to know the right codes. One thing I'm going to need is I'm going to need to have the link to the image that I want to put on the page. Not a link to the web page that the image is on, but a link to the actual image. And I'll show you what you can look for in the link address to make sure that you are linking to an image. But let's start with a search for an image. And I've done a Google image search here to look at all the pictures of Mark Zuckerberg and his wife and all the stuff and his house and everything else we want to find out about what Mark Zuckerberg looks like. And I want to use this one with the Facebook logo in behind. So let me click on that. And this is with a Google image search. The way it shows up is you click on it, you get a larger version of it. What you should do is you should go over to this link here where it says view image and click on that. Okay, there we go. That's the image that I want to use. Now, this address at the top ends with markzuckerberg.jpg. Really important. .jpg as an ending means that that's a JPEG file. It's a visual, usually a photo. You can also have graphic files that end in .gif or .png, and all of those are good ones to use for linking and putting onto your web page. So like I said, I need this address to put onto my web page, so I'm just going to copy that. And let's shrink that back down, get that over to the side, and bring my page back. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I've got, when am I going to get rich like this guy? I'm going to put his picture right down below there. So let's make a little bit of space. And I can just put the image there, but I'm going to make it part of a paragraph just so it lines up nicely and everything. So the image is going to be an element that's part of the paragraph. Actually, it's going to be everything in this paragraph. I'm not going to have anything else, just the image. I could put a caption or something like that if I wanted to. Let's make a little bit of room to work. And now let's put in the image, and the tag for image is really, really simple. It's not even a two-part tag. It's one of those single tags that doesn't have a closing element. It's just the one tag, and it starts off img. That's a signal to the browser. It's an instruction that says that, hey, this is an image that I want you to show. And what I need to tell the browser now is where the image is. What image do I want to put there? So I put in src equals quotation. src is short for source, the source of the file. And now I paste in the address for the file that I just looked up. And quotations on the end. And a space slash close the bracket. A lot of times with singleton tags that don't have a partner, this is how they end, is slash and the closing tag. So there's no slash tag later on. It's closed off within itself. It's a single thing. Okay, save that. And let's go and reload. And this is great, but this is a little bit bigger than I really want it to be. In fact, it's a lot bigger than I really want it to be. I'd like it to be about as wide as this paragraph. Now I could download the image and resize it and then load it on and put it on my web browser, or I could put it on my web page as a local image. But what I'm going to do to make things really easy is I'm just going to resize this image that I found online. This doesn't reduce the size of the image or how large the file is. So if you're on a slow connection or the person who's viewing it is on a slow connection, they still have to wait all the time for it to download. Most connections, even through a cell phone, are going to be fast enough that you're not really going to notice that. So let's just put in here. What I want to do is I want to redefine the width of the picture, how wide it is. And so in my image tag, I'll just add one thing here. Width equals, I'll say about 400. And then put that space back there. Width equals 400. 400 is 400 pixels. And when you're looking at a digital photograph or other things, they're measured in pixels for the size. And so what I want to do is I want this picture, when it shows up on this page, to be 400 pixels wide. And it will resize the image so it's 400 pixels wide and however tall it needs to be in order to keep the image proportional. Let's save that and reload. And that's a much nicer size, fits in really well. If I wanted to state how tall I want it to be, I can do that. I could say height equals, let's put in 400 again, height equals 400. Save it, reload it, and you can see that that's changed. Now it's defined by the height. That's a pretty good size for this web page, but I want to show you one thing that can happen if you decide to put a value for both the height and the width. So I'm going to say that the height is 400 and the width is 250. Now these are not proportional to the original image size, so we're going to end up with an image that looks like it's been squished, and we'll reload that, and yeah, that doesn't look quite right. So if you are going to say how big you want the image, define the height or define the width, but don't define both, or else you're going to end up with an image that's out of proportion with the original. So there we go. The image tag, fairly simple, fairly straightforward. IMG stands for image. SRC equals quotation, and that's where you put the link to the image that you want to put up there. And optionally, you can have the height defined as a number of pixels or the width defined as a number of pixels to resize the image if you don't like the size that the original is online. In a future video, I'll show you how to take one of your images or download an image and resize it so that it is the right size, and that will often make a smaller image compared to a large original, which means that the web page will load faster for someone who's on a slower connection. Okay, that's the code. Go ahead and get on to your text editor and crack open a browser and start practicing.